documenting each sleepless night in a notebook like some kind of exhausted scientist studying his own deterioration. The doctors say it's chronic insomnia, probably stress-induced. They've given me pills that don't work and advice I can't follow. Reduce screen time, they say. Maintain a regular schedule. Right. Tell that to my night shift supervisor at Mirai Tower. The building is one of those corporate monoliths in Shinjuku, 30 floors of steel, glass, and emptiness after 9 p.m. During the day, it houses 3 different tech companies, a consulting firm, and a startup incubator. At night, it's just me, the hum of the HVAC system, and the blue glow of 16 security monitors. I took this job 3 months ago, right when the insomnia got bad. I figured if I couldn't sleep anyway, I might as well get paid for being awake. The irony wasn't lost on me. A security guard who can't close his eyes even if he wanted to. It started on a Tuesday, or maybe Wednesday. The days blur together when you don't sleep. I was doing my usual rounds, checking the cameras one by one. Lobby, empty. Basement parking, empty. Second floor, empty. When I got to the 3rd floor camera feed, I saw it. A figure, just standing there in the middle of the corridor. I blinked hard, rubbing my eyes with the palms of my hands until I saw spots. When I looked again, the figure was still there. Humanoid, but wrong somehow. The image seemed to stutter, like a video buffering on a slow connection. 1 second it was there, the next it was 3 feet to the left, then back to its original position, all without any visible movement between. My first thought was technical malfunction. We'd had issues with the cameras before, moisture in the lenses, software bugs, the usual problems in a building this new. But this was different. The rest of the feed was crystal clear, just the figure glitched. I radioed to my supervisor, Tanaka-san, who works the monitoring station in the basement. You seeing anything weird on camera 3B? Static, then his gravelly voice. Looks clear to me. What are you seeing? I stared at the monitor. The figure was still there, now closer to the camera, its form pulsing in and out of clarity. There's someone on the 3rd floor. Impossible, alarm would have triggered. You're tired, Yuki. Take your break. Maybe he was right. 47 days without real sleep can do things to your mind. I'd read about it online during one of my endless wakeful nights. Microsleeps, where your brain forces you into REM cycles even when your eyes are open. Hallucinations, visual distortions. But I had to check. I took the elevator to the 3rd floor, my flashlight beam cutting through the darkness. The motion sensor lights flickered on as I walked, illuminating the path ahead in sections. Empty cubicles stretched out before me, monitors dark, chairs tucked neatly under desks. The air smelled like recycled oxygen and printer toner. I walked to the exact spot where I'd seen the figure on the camera. Nothing. Of course, nothing. I stood there for a full minute, my flashlight sweeping across the space, checking corners behind the printer station near the emergency exit. Empty. When I returned to the security desk, I checked the timestamp on the recording. The figure wasn't there anymore. I rewound the footage to when I'd first seen it. The corridor was empty in the recording. Just empty hallway, exactly what Tanaka-san had seen. You're losing it, I whispered to myself. Sleep deprivation psychosis. I made coffee, my 6th cup of the shift, and tried to focus on my phone, scrolling through news articles I wouldn't remember reading. But my eyes kept drifting back to camera 3B. An hour later, it appeared again. This time it was closer to the camera, close enough that I should have been able to make out facial features, but it had none. Or rather, it did, but they kept shifting, glitching between different configurations like a corrupted character model in a video game. One frame showed eyes, the next just smooth skin, then eyes again, but in the wrong position. My heart hammered against my ribs. I grabbed my radio. "Tanaka-san, please check camera 3B again. Please." "Yuki, we've been through this. Please." A long pause. "It's empty. Whatever you're seeing, it's not on my feed." "Look, I'm coming up. Stay there." I couldn't look away from the monitor. The figure raised one arm, at least I think it was an arm, and pointed directly at the camera. At me. Then it moved, but not like a person walks. It slid backward through space, covering 15 feet in an instant without any transitional movement, leaving a trail of digital artifacts in its wake. The lights on the third floor went out. All of them. I could see it on the camera. Total darkness except for the emergency exit signs glowing green. Then, one by one, the exit signs began to flicker and die. Tanaka-san's voice crackled through the radio, distorted. "Yuki, where? Third floor. Can't." The radio went dead. All the monitors except camera 3B turned to static. On that one remaining feed, in the complete darkness of the third floor, I could see it. The figure glowed now, emitting its own sick phosphorescent light. And it was moving toward the camera, toward the elevator, toward me. Every rational part of my brain screamed that this was a hallucination. Sleep deprivation can cause vivid, terrifying visions. I'd read about it. Factory workers seeing shadow people, truckers watching demons dance on the highway. This wasn't real. It couldn't be real. The elevator dinged. I spun around. The elevator doors slid open with a mechanical whisper. Inside was darkness deeper than it should be, as if light itself couldn't penetrate it. And in that darkness, something glitched. I ran. My body made the decision before my mind could catch up. I bolted for the emergency stairs, my footsteps echoing in the vast lobby. Behind me, I heard it. A sound like television static mixed with whispers, words spoken backward, digital and organic at once. The stairwell door slammed behind me, and I took the stairs 3 at a time, going down toward the basement where Tanaka-san would be, where there would be another person, where I wouldn't be alone with whatever was following me. I reached the basement level and crashed through the door. The monitoring station was ahead, its windows glowing with the light of dozens of screens. I could see Tanaka-san's silhouette at his desk. "Tanaka-san!" I shouted, running toward the door. He didn't move. As I got closer, I could see his screens, all of them showing the same feed. Camera 3B, and on every single monitor, the glitching figure stood in the third floor corridor, motionless, facing the camera. Facing us. I grabbed Tanaka-san's shoulder and he turned slowly. Too slowly. His eyes were unfocused, his mouth slightly open. He looked like he hadn't slept in days. "Do you see it now?" he asked, his voice hollow. "I see it now. I always see it now." "What are you talking about?" My voice was shaking. "Camera 3B. I checked the logs, Yuki. The previous night guard. He quit 2 months ago after requesting repeated reviews of camera 3B. The one before him had a nervous breakdown. They all see it eventually. The ones who don't sleep." My blood turned to ice water. "Why the third floor?" "A programmer. Worked for one of the tech companies up there. He died at his desk. No one noticed for 3 days. Everyone thought he was just pulling another all-nighter. Tanaka-san's eyes never left the monitors. Overwork, no sleep for weeks. His heart just stopped. They found him still sitting in his cubicle, eyes open, staring at his screen. The lights in the monitoring station began to flicker. On the screens, the figure started moving again, that same impossible sliding motion, getting closer to the camera with each glitch. "It feeds on exhaustion," Tanaka-san whispered. "It recognizes its own. And when you're tired enough, when you've gone long enough without sleep, you become visible to it, and it becomes real." The temperature plummeted. I could see my breath misting in front of my face. All the monitors showed the same thing now. The figure, closer and closer with each stutter of reality, until it filled every screen. I could make out details now that I desperately didn't want to see. Its face was a rotating carousel of expressions: anguish, exhaustion, fury, despair, cycling through them like a glitching animation. Its fingers were too long, bent at angles that defied physiology, reaching toward us through the screens. Then every monitor went black. In the reflection of the dark screens, I saw it standing behind us. My body went rigid, every muscle locked. The figure was there in the reflection, clear as day, positioned exactly between where Tanaka-san and I sat. But when I forced myself to turn and look directly at the space behind us, I saw nothing but empty air and the concrete wall. "Don't look directly at it," Tanaka-san said quietly. "Only in reflections, only in cameras. That's the space between sleep and waking. That's where it lives." I looked back at the screen's reflection. The figure reached out, and I felt it. Actual physical contact. Ice-cold fingers wrapped around my wrist. Not metaphorical, not imagined. Real. Solid. Freezing. The lights exploded. Every bulb in the monitoring station shattered simultaneously, plunging us into absolute darkness, except for the emergency exit signs. In that green-tinged light, I saw something that will haunt me for whatever sleepless nights I have left. The figure was becoming solid, more real, feeding on our exhaustion, pulling itself from whatever digital spiritual limbo it inhabited into our physical world. Its hand was on my wrist, and where it touched, my skin turned gray, the color draining away, my flesh becoming as glitched and stuttered as its own. "Run!" Tanaka-san shoved me hard, breaking the thing's grip. "Get out! Sleep! You have to sleep before it takes you completely." I ran for the third time that night, bursting out of the monitoring station and sprinting for the parking garage exit. Behind me, I heard Tanaka-san scream, a sound that cut off abruptly, replaced by that terrible static whisper. I made it to my car, hands shaking so badly I could barely get the key in the ignition. As I peeled out of the garage, I looked in my rearview mirror. There, standing in the entrance, glitching in and out of reality with each flicker of the parking garage lights, it watched me go. I didn't go home. I checked myself into a hospital, begging them to sedate me. They did, eventually, after hours of psychiatric evaluation. I slept for 16 hours straight. When I woke up, my wrist still had the mark. A perfect handprint of gray, discolored skin that won't tan, won't heal, exists in a constant state of semi-reality. I never went back to Mirai Tower. I heard through a friend that they found Tanaka-san in the monitoring station, sitting at his desk. He was alive but catatonic, eyes fixed on the dead monitors. They say he hasn't slept since. Won't sleep, can't sleep, just like the programmer on the third floor. I take my medication religiously now. Sleep aids, anti-anxiety pills, anything to keep me under for at least 6 hours a night. Because I know what's waiting in that space between exhaustion and unconsciousness. I know that if I slip again, if I go too many nights without real sleep, I'll start seeing it on every screen, every reflection, every glitching pixel of reality. And next time, it won't let me run. I still check my wrist every morning, watching the gray spread, millimeter by millimeter, with each restless night. It's up to my elbow now. And last night, for just a moment, when I was fighting sleep, afraid of nightmares, I saw something flicker in my laptop screen's reflection. It's still waiting. It's always waiting for the ones who won't sleep.